Cuba, it's me. Welcome to this episode 285 of The Willu Show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now, today, I always try and be positive on the show, but it's got to be done. It's almost the end of the year, so let's look at the worst things that happened in wrestling in 2017, and then tomorrow we can bounce back and do the best things that happened in the year 2017. And remember, this is just opinions. This is what I think. I'm not right, I'm not wrong, but I want to hear your opinions, but I'm going to do me, because it's my show, The Willu Show. First of all, for me, uh, let's see, what can I think of? For me, Finn Balor. I can't stand him. I don't see why people like him. I don't have any interest in watching his matches. I sure as heck do not want to hear him talk or do interviews. And just anything with him makes me start playing with my phone. And I will say, those matches between Balor and Bray Wyatt, man, they were horrible to me. And then the next thing, speaking of Bray Wyatt, that reminds me, that match where he had with Randy Orton, where they burned the house or whatever, I don't remember what happened, and then he drove to the arena and they finished off there. That was pretty brutal to watch. As always, every year has its injuries, and that can hurt a lot of people's momentum. There was some really big injuries, like Drew McIntyre got hurt at the takeover. Dean Ambrose got hurt last week, although I really don't believe the Dean Ambrose one. I honestly think they're just setting up an angle. I could be wrong, obviously, but he hasn't got hurt or hasn't missed shows in so long. It just seems like they're giving him time off, so they gave him an angle. Just the way he did the arm thing, it looks so cheesy. But I could be wrong. Maybe he hurt something else and they were just using the arm. I don't know. Tommaso Ciampa, Big Cass, Asuka got hurt there, but I honestly think that worked out the best for Asuka because then she didn't have to lose the title to anyone and she could be brought up to the main roster with the undefeated streak still intact. So sometimes they work out. A lot of times they ruin people's momentum and the plans they have going. The Revival got injured right when they came up to the main roster. Bailey had that one injury. Jeff Hardy. There's so many, I can't remember them all, but those are the ones that off the top of my head I can remember. And with injuries, there's even the worst thing. Probably the worst thing of this year to me was the death of Bobby the Brain Heenan. And there was a lot of other deaths. I'm not going to list them all, but the Bobby the Brain Heenan one was the one that was the hardest on me. What else can I think of? That Leo Rush was involved in some controversy with his whole no selling through a table thing, and then plus the Emma tweet he put out. Excuse me. Yeah, he had some pretty bad moments in 2017, but he got signed by WWE, so I guess that evens everything out, right? Plus we had some retirements. Jimmy King retired. That was sad for me. Gail King, Bobby Ray Dudley, they've all retired, and that was it's always sad when someone retires, but it's also like an amazing feeling too. Like you're like, wow, what a career they had, blah blah blah. But you're also sad. A big thing that sucked for wrestling in 2017 would be the hackers that were leaking photos and videos of the mostly the females. I didn't see any males, not that I would want to, but it can really be hard on someone's career. I've seen Paige had her leaked, and then Charlotte got some leaked, and there was a couple more. And yeah, it's sad that that's the way society is nowadays. The Michael Elgin thing, where he was involved in a bunch of controversy because accusations were thrown out about one of the wrestlers that he booked, something to do with that. I'll leave it at that, but that hurt him, I'm sure, from some bookings. The Rich Swann domestic violence thing, that didn't look good on him, and he was in the number one contenders match the next week too. The whole Ric Flair scare of the hospital thing, that was pretty scary, I guess, right? I'm glad to see he pulled through with that, and then also wrestlers that are getting back on the wagon, I guess you could call it. I've seen a couple articles saying Scott Hall has been involved here and there. The whole Just Incredible thing that happened just a week or two ago. That's always hard, but those kind of people that are addicts, they're gonna deal with it their whole life, and you can never be perfect. You're always gonna have to fight with it, but it's sad to see when they're working so hard. Um, Another thing I really thought was corny was I like Jason Jordan. He's a good wrestler, and I see where they're going with the angle. There will be a payoff, but man, is it so annoying right now to hear him doing the whiny dad thing and being Kurt Angle's fake son. Like, come on. Also, anytime that someone violates the wellness policy in WWE, that sucks, and sometimes it's not even their fault, but it can just be like a little asterisk or a little thing, like they could have been in the same room with somebody that was doing like it. But it really sucks when they miss shows. I'm trying to think in Ontario. I hate when people beef with each other. I wish everyone could all get along. That's never gonna happen. There was that whole fake Doink fiasco show with that guy that promised everyone that they're gonna be there, and not all of them showed up. The whole thing with the Rock Pile Club where Death Proof used to run there, and then these other people ran there, and there was all this controversy over that. Anybody obviously in Ontario that got injured or anything like that, or had was treated unfairly by someone, those kind of things. But I'm not going to get into too much of that in Ontario. I want to keep it positive, so I'll save the Ontario stuff for tomorrow's positive show about the best things of 2017. But let's hear what was the worst things in wrestling for you in 2017. Because as always on the W.I.L.L.I.W show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba.